Okay, Keith. Well, perhaps not a rip-roaring derby encounter, but a perfect result last week.
That was all that mattered at half-time. You know, we tried to generate a spectacle with the correct way that we're trying to play the game. But you've got to try and legislate for everything that can happen in a local derby. Spirits were high. It was very competitive. There's been a suggestion that we were over-competitive, but we weren't. We were just determined on behalf of the supporters. But once the sending off occurred, then it was just about protecting that lead, and I make no apologies for that, because so many times we've been the victim of playing good football and ended up with nothing. It was just a question of making sure that we'd already achieved the end of the game result at half time, and it was just about protection. And I thought there was a beauty in the way that we did protect. I thought it was magnificently played out by the players. I thought we had chances on the counter-attack, albeit very few, but it just shows that the players are all inclusive, fully on board with what we're trying to achieve. And I thought it was marshalled superbly.
Peter Vincenti's double yellow card sending off. Are you sort of in agreement with the referee on that one?
Yes, because of the timing of the challenges. There was one or two tasty challenges going in for both sides. But his first one, he only just got away with it. On another day, potentially it might have been a reaction from a referee to award him a red. But the timing of the two incidents, it was obvious that any contact with any other player within that time period, Peter Vincenzi was looking quite likely being sent off. You're asking for calm, you're asking for composure. But sometimes it's difficult for players. You want your teammates to try and compose you. You've got to find it within yourself as well. But he's paid the penalty. Unfortunately for Peter and for us, we haven't paid the penalty. We went on to be victorious.
Yeah, but the penalty now comes on Saturday. Obviously, you'll be without him.
There's no penalty. It's an opportunity. It's an individual penalty. For me, it's not like receiving an injury on a Friday and we're looking for an alternate. We've been planning since he was probably sent off. I know exactly what it is I'm going to do against Torquay.
Another tough game as well. I mean, Torquay lost just once on the road this season so far, and well, I suppose we say every game's a tough one, don't we?
They all are. Everybody's competitive. I don't think there's too much difference, and there's a really small margin between every team in the division. I think managers now have got a very good pool of players to choose from with respect to it being an open market. The recruitment industry now, there's a lot of players available. There's even more players coming in from agents abroad. So managers have got the pick of, a massive pool of players. And like I said, the differences and the distances between two sides is minimal. And it's probably what you do, in key decisions in games. And like I said, there shouldn't be any expectation from most supporters up and down the country. It's not as though it's Manchester United being pitted against, I suppose, without being disrespectful, Crystal Palace this weekend, where everybody and every bookmaker in the land is probably 16-1 probably Crystal Palace will be, even probably as far as 20-1 to pick up a result at Old Trafford. The rest of the leagues are very, very condensed, close together, the Championship, top to bottom, who's going to beat who. League One exactly the same. League Two, it's really concertinaed. So the distances and the difference between two sides are very marginal.
Finally, Keith, we always talk about transfer windows open, loan windows open. Is there any additions to the squad?
I'm trying to recruit somebody today. I'm sure that I've got an agreement with a player. He's coming up today, and it'll be a very good signing for the football club. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be done by around about midday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. All the paperwork's going to get sorted out, and hopefully we'll have another addition to the squad.
Brilliant. Smashing. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers, Keith.